Hey, this is Daryl Henry with Insurance for Entrepreneurs. And this video is what does general liability insurance cover for Maryland businesses? There's 5 parts. I'm going to walk you through them. At the end, you should have a pretty good sense on what general liability insurance covers. First thing, general liability insurance is designed to cover bodily injury that you cause to somebody else. It can be slipping and falling in your office or on your premises, in your parking lot. It can be somebody getting hurt as a result of a product that you make or work that you did. But if somebody gets hurt as a result of something that you did, it's direct bodily injury. So an example I've got is I have a church customer, a grandmother was coming to watch her grandchild play basketball and slipped and fell in the parking lot. She waited almost 3 years to file suit and got it in just under the statute of limitations. But when she did, that claim settled out for $125,000. So that's an example of direct bodily injury, and slip and falls is one of the most common versions. Second thing that general liability insurance covers is property damage that you cause. Once again, we're talking about direct property damage. You did something, you hurt something else, you broke something. So an example I've got is one of my customers, sober living home. They rent apartments for the people in their program. And one of the people in their program started a fire in the kitchen. That fire caused $500,000 of property damage to an apartment complex, caused a loss of income. And as a result, that apartment complex started coming after the sober living home. So that's an example of direct property damage that you cause to somebody else. It causes property damage and loss of net income. That is an example of general liability insurance, assuming that you have the location listed on the policy. Number 3, personal and advertising injury. This is libel and slander. The idea that the insurance industry has in mind when they offer this coverage is something like a florist takes out a radio advertisement and somebody in the community gets offended by the advertisement. What the insurance industry doesn't have in mind is if you're in the business of advertising. It is an advertising agency, political campaign, media companies. If you're in the business of speaking publicly and dealing with the media, they want to siphon that off elsewhere. But if you're a manufacturer, a contractor, a nonprofit, and your primary business is something else, but occasionally you have to run an advertisement, personal and advertising injury is there for you. Fourth part in a general liability insurance policy is legal defense costs. Now, this is not something that is listed out on the policy. It's something that's baked in, it's assumed. It's not necessarily something that most buyers think of when they're buying insurance, but when you're inside the industry, one of the things you come to learn real fast is insurance companies pay more for attorneys than they do for settlements. Basically, it costs more to fight the case than it does to settle it in the long run. So an example I've got there is, this isn't general liability insurance, but it illustrates the point. One of my nonprofit clients runs outpatient substance use disorder services. And they had somebody come into their program. That person maybe was not totally truthful about what was going on in their life, went home and committed suicide. And then the family came back and sued. And it cost the insurance company $140,000 to defend that nonprofit for what ended up being a $20,000 settlement. So we don't always think about defense costs when we're buying insurance, what it costs to pay the attorneys. But as much as anything, many times that's what you're paying for when you buy insurance, is somebody else to pay the attorney and know who the right attorney to hire would be. The fifth thing that is in a general liability insurance policy that you're buying is what's called medical payments coverage. This is on the policy and it's listed out and sometimes confuses people. It'll say something like medical payments, $5,000. And people will look at that and say, well, that's nothing. I mean, I could rip through $5,000 with a trip to the dentist. What this coverage is designed to do is kill lawsuits. It is designed to pay for out-of-pocket medical expenses and no-fault medical payments to make it less likely for somebody else to sue you. So an example would be, going back to the grandmother, let's say that she had talked to the church at the very beginning and she said, well, I got to go see my doctor. I got these copays. I got these deductibles. Medical payments pays for those copays, deductibles. If she had to get in the ambulance, it pays for that so that she doesn't have out of pocket medical expenses, with the hope being it's going to make it less likely for her to sue in the long run. All right, those are the 5 parts. I hope that's helpful. If it was helpful, please hit like and subscribe. It helps other people like you find the channel. And thank you so much for watching. As always, go build something great.